Hi everybody. Wanted to talk through a couple major changes to Zoom. Zoom has had problems recently. You may have heard about it, about people Zoom bombing rooms because they can get in with just the meeting ID and they don't need a password and they can get right into the meeting. So people are being rude and interrupting classrooms and interrupting businesses. So Zoom released a couple changes. They announced them today. They sent out an email about it. One of the changes is that passwords are going to be enabled by default. The other one, which isn't active at the time of this recording, even though they said that it would be active moving forward, so it might take a day or two to show up, is that waiting rooms will be enabled by default. So if you're using Zoom and you go ahead and you want to schedule a new meeting, you will see that require a meeting password is automatically checked off, and it will generate a new password for you every time you schedule a meeting. So if I generate a new one, I get a different password. Now the advanced options is where we see the enable waiting room. Now that's not enabled for me by default right now, so it might just take a little bit of time for Zoom to actually finish that rollout of that feature change. But what that waiting room will do is it will prompt you to allow users into your meeting, and we'll show you where that is in just a second. So if I were to go ahead and hit schedule here, it would open up a calendar invite. Now this is just a sample one here, but you'll see that it includes the password in the meeting. Anybody that types in that meeting ID manually will have to enter in that password. However, if they go to join the meeting by just clicking on the link, they will not have to enter the password. That password is embedded into the URL field, so they don't have to do any additional steps. Zoom is recommending that you resend the meeting invites because that will include the updated password in the field to save people the trouble for anything that's pending. But any new event that you make moving forward will have that. So I'll show you the meeting rooms now. If we just do a new meeting, you'll see down at the bottom, manage participants. And if you have the waiting room enabled, when somebody joins, above participants, you will see a section for waiting room. And assuming that you recognize the person and you know that they should be on the call, you can go ahead and admit that user. If you don't know them, obviously don't admit them into the meeting. If you're using password, you may not need to use the waiting room as well, so you can turn that off through that option in the advanced options. But if you use both of those steps should prevent you from getting Zoom bombed. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out and ask away. But this is Mike at Cinch IT. Have a good one.